That does not sound like the Jesus I believe in. Can I tell you what I want to do beyond this lifetime? You may laugh. I am hoping to be born again. I don't want to hang out like that. I want to play the guitar and sing songs. And truthfully honest, I wanted to add this in. I would love to get rid of this big nose and be a male model. That would be a fun thing in another life. But the point is, I have things to do. And so do we all. Sometimes I wonder about this. If we were going to pent that serpent, pent the serpent in the penthouse. Oh, he always wants to be the highest in the penthouse, in the house of God. If we were going to take that sir, which means yes, sir, I'm the highest. But also remember the word sir, S-U-R. No matter how you spell it, hear how it sounds. Don't be lost in the spelling, you L. Serpent is also an a variant of the word sub. Have you substituted it with something? For sub is below, and he wants to be pent up and sealed up in the top. The penthouse, you serpent. In order to lock someone up, you must be above them, and then you're locked up from below in 7. And there is the key. And now, you are at the bottom. You dug a pit to build a mountain. Is that your amount? Zion is not even really a mount. It is a mount. Do you climb the mount like a goat? I need a scale. Give me a grade. Give me a degree. Do you see the 1 degree in all degrees? I had someone once tell me, they said, the Lord will spew you out of his mouth because you're neither too hot nor too cold. Well, let me tell you one thing. I'll just, before we go on, I am both hot and cold, and not one instead. That is where the fulcrum is. God is not just one pole instead. He is both the hottest and the coldest, and that is what is truly fair. Did you expect to go in such a situation to your kingdom of the sun and go, ooh, it's cold here, ooh, it's cold, okay, rush to the hot. No. God is every degree as one. Now, do you hold to too hot and too cold? Well, let me tell you about the wide path, my friends. The wide path is what all Christians, most of them, and Muslims and Jews are still saying. You are not godly. In order to be godly, there must be the ungodly. You are not like God, although Adam says, who is like God? Mormons say the same thing. We will be gods, and there are not gods. That is the wide path, for you are all saying the same thing. But how many of you see the one? The one God that is all people even now. Are you building a steeple? Let me tell you about the steeple. For seeing the one God is the straight and narrow. You walk the earth and you do not see that? Well, then maybe you are not on the rod anymore. And you have left the rod that is in the valley. Think about the word valley. It is the value. And you're trying to rate, R-E-I-G-H-T, like height, has the word 8. You're trying to rate the soul? I thought it was great. G-R-E-I-G-H-T. I didn't know you could put a price on that. I would just tell you, you earn your God certificate. You earned it. I will hand you an urn, and I will say ashes to ashes, dust to dust. As dust you are, and dust you shall return. Put that degree in the urn and burn it. You need to admit 1 L to return. Now, can you? Or are you still seeking to be gods instead? Do you see the straight and narrow? For when your eye is single, your whole body is filled with light. Where before, you saw through a glass darkly and saw things in part. You are a part of it. You are a part of it. You are just a fraction of it. A fraction. I am a fraction? What if God the Father said, I am just a fraction? If you are in me, Christ, then you must be an infraction. I am not an infraction. And you are not an infraction. 1/3 and 2/3 and 3/3, all of those are fractions. You are supposed to be multiplying. If all we did, multiply and replenish the earth, is to use multiplication. We don't add to or take away the all. It is all. You cannot add to the all nor take away, no matter how much you see. Multiply and replenish the earth. You use whole numbers. And here's an example. You say, Heavenly Mother, fine. I see one piece of paper. I call it the Father. Now it folds its own self, and in the moment it folds, it is in that very moment, its increase that I call the Son. I am with the Father and am the Father, John said. And John was a beloved too. All Johns are beloved. For even David loved Jonathan more than any other woman, it said, and his soul was intertwined with Jonathan's. Call him John the Baptist, they said. Who is going to be on my right and my left? James, the just, or John the Beloved? Let me tell you about right and left, my friends. Everyone wants to be on the right hand of God. Watch this. Hand. If I have a stroke on the left side of my brain, my right hand is connected to it, for I cross. Are you on the right hand? Hand, look it up, Sanskrit, and do not pass it by. Because Sanskrit talks about Atman, Brahman, Abraham, Sarah. Mind. My hand is my mind, and that is my mono. Even with an O, like Elohim. Elohim. It is masculine. It is man. Here is a perfect analogy for you. Which one is my right hand side? Are you trying to be on the right hand? Where is the right hand? The right side of God? I want to be so right. Make me righteous. Make me righteous. I will tell you something about the righteous. Those who truly are the most right are the most righteous. And if you are the most right, you give the most rights to others. You do not take away people's rights in order to be more right instead. Those are the people who are left and trying to be more right instead. So I would just tell you in such a situation, which is my right and which is my left? Those who do the will of my Father in heaven, for he is the only master. Our eternal Father is the only master, and that is the one soul. And all souls are that master, so do not call me master instead. Now, which is on my right and which is on my left? What do? Do you take away the rights of others in order to call yourself more righteous before God? Then surely you are more left. And that is why you take away the rights. That is not what the righteous do. And that is not free agency, is it? I would say in such a situation, my Father's house is a house of free agency, like an agency. Come on in. It's a center. We will enter. Take the S and the C off, for they make the same sound. Enter. Like the kingdom of heaven is within. So we will enter. And my Father's house is not a house of merchandise. It is a free agency. That is my business, and you've turned it into money. Is that why you like bees, for they make honey? I am not an insect. Do you know about the stories? These are stories. We will wonder now. And it is okay to do that. For we can see types and signs in all things. Those fae folk that are called the fairies are both good and bad. They are like, in some ways, they are like the elementals. They